Hey, everybody. Thank you for making it out here. I've been enjoying it so far for the last 5 minutes as I've been preparing the talk for the rest of the afternoon. So I'm Luke, and in my day job, I'm a venture capitalist. The company I started as Founders Fund, and I thought back to a question that we've been asking for entrepreneurs for many years now, which is, why did you start this company? And this is a really relevant question in our work. By the way, I'm not going to give you the answer because we're not going to give away the test answers. But it's a really relevant question for transformative technology. In our work in funding entrepreneurs, the motivation of the entrepreneur, like your motivation for why you are building a company, is extremely important for determining the trajectory of that company over time. I keep wanting to give away the answers. So like if we come across with someone, and they're they tell us they're going to build a company to go to Mars. Because they want humanity to be interplanetary. Well, that's one that you guys know about. That's my friend Elon Musk. That usually makes us perk up. Then if we come across someone and they say, well, it's to make money, then we're usually pretty bored. Now, what is the difference between those two things? And I want to drill into this and what it has to do with us. And why it's very important for you as you're building transformative technology to figure out your own motivations and why you're doing what you're doing. So in the technology companies that we've worked with, the power of technology has been great to affect humanity. We've built rockets, we've funded social networks, and so forth. But you guys are building technology to affect the human mind. You're going in here. This is huge. This is beyond, in terms of its impact on humanity. It's potentially beyond anything that's been done before. So its impact means a lot, and therefore your motivations for doing it are going to be very important for the future course of humanity. And upon reflection on this, what I urge everyone to do is from a couple of different directions. One is to do the philosophical search for why you're building and what you are building, what you want humanity to transform into, what you want your mind to transform into, what you want society to transform into, and then to also finish the work on yourselves. Many of you are also working in a transformative path in yourself. I've been doing that as well over time, and to really finish that work and to notice its impact on the company or the project you're building, because they can get intertwined and kind of entangled together in interesting ways. And this is where in our world in transformative technology, stuff can get very, very interesting. I remember one company that came in. It was a brain device, and everyone's a little bit weird. They were all using. It's not one of the ones in here. Everyone's like, it's not scientifically proven. We had our chief scientist check out. They're like, the science is definitely wrong. I mean, they're doing something to the brain, but it's not what they think it is. And they were all using it on themselves. And so this sort of freaked me out. This actually, but it made me reflect on whoa, this is what we're getting into now. Like, people are doing things. We're doing things to our minds. We don't know what they are. We have some paradigms which we can use, which we can borrow from. We can borrow from modern neuroscience. We can borrow from traditional Buddhism. But they might not apply to what we're building. They might not be very good for those models. And if we can't figure out new models that are sensible, we'll be flying blind in here. And that's quite a scary thought if it's just an individual. But if it's an entire society that we are we're the pilot in the plane and we're blind and we don't know, and they're like, hey, this is fine, it's transformative, it's great. This is how we felt a little bit about this company, which I was very inspired by some of the work they did. They were able to cure some mentally ill people that were, that they were in really, really bad places. So, we verified they were having a positive effect, but what we did not verify is that they knew what they were doing. Um, and that and in the realm of, like, say if you're building something like a social network or a video game, I would say it still does matter. I mean, to us, the motivation of the entrepreneur and their philosophy, like their epistemology, their theories of the world, and even political philosophy, all matters a lot to us. We're a little bit weird at Foundation that we care about this sort of stuff, and that I care about it. But if you're doing something that's affecting the brain, I really care about it. And since we're embarking on this, many of you have already embarked on it. I have embarked on it in some ways. Um, and since we're breaking some of the traditional paradigms. Now, some of you just borrow the old paradigms, and maybe that's a safe way of doing things. You borrow establishment neuroscience, which has a lot of stuff that's wrong in it, but at least maybe that can feel safe. You borrow sort of the few thousand years of work in psychology that's embedded in Buddhism, and maybe some of that's wrong or not applicable either. But it's at least some paradigms. But what I really encourage us to do, and perhaps this is collective work and not any individual's work, is to figure out the new paradigms of the mind that will be enabled by this technology itself. Because it'll give us new windows into the mind and new windows into consciousness that we did not have before we had these tools. So it'll be a journey of trying things and learning things from them. It's actually going to be a journey of research in some ways. And then the question of whether we scale up those research projects to the level of they affect millions of humans, that gets me back into that original question of what are we transforming into, and do we know what it is yet, and are we ready to go? That's a very big. That's one of the very big questions. So those are some of my thoughts and questions about transformative technology and why it's important to introspect into where we're going, and because of the incredible power it has to change us and to change the world.